hard man to get a hold of.
I am, just a little bit at SEMA, yeah.
Is your arm tired by now?
That's what
is this the display?
Yeah.
You just standing
I'm part
there?
of the display.
Yeah, I see that. You drove this here?
We didn't, no. Unfortunately, it was trailered a lot of the way.
It does run and drive.
It does run, yeah.
I mean, you're kind of a madman for driving it part of the way even.
Yeah. It was an issue that we had with wiring about a week ago that we ran into as soon as it landed in America and just had to try and force it basically.
So then what am I actually looking at? What is this out of?
Well, this is out of the 360, Ferrari 360 that was in Latvia. It was obviously a crash damage, and then we took the engine and the wiring and everything. Thought, why not put it in the Frankenstein body that we've got? And I think like putting an EJ in it was a little bit boring. So I thought, you know, why not put a Ferrari motor in it? More reliable. You're not going to do a head gasket.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the first modern Ferrari engine, essentially, right?
Well, yeah, because and also the most complex, which we didn't know until after. It runs off 2 ECUs, and we should have done more research. But again, this has all been done in 8 weeks. Bar the body's been done for 15 years or something crazy.
What engine was in it before?
Nothing. So the actual shell itself has been made and finished for about 15 years. 12 to 15 years. I saw this body when I was a teenager, and I was obsessed with it. I was like, wow, I've always wanted to build a wide body wagon, basically a 22B GFA. And this guy in the UK built the body, and it sat for 12 years. He ran out of money. Everybody thought this car had disappeared. It was like a unicorn on Facebook back in the day. And then I took my 22B, 22R that I had made in the UK for servicing, and this was sat in the corner of the shell with a sale sign on it. And I went, there's no way that is the one from me being a teenager. No way. And he went, it is.
So then they didn't finish it. They never ran.
Never. But I had a motor in it.
How did you see it as a teenager? You saw it like
I was just obsessed with the body.
But did you see a picture of it?
I saw pictures of it. Yeah, I've got pictures from when this was originally made, way back.
And it was like on a forum, or
yeah, it was on Facebook. Literally went viral on Facebook years ago. And the guy last night responded to me. He said, "Thank you so much for finishing the car." And I was just like,
finishing it, but like also making it so insane.
Well, that's what he said. He said, "Thank you for not like doing it basic, you know, keeping with the Frankenstein vibe."
There's a lot going on here. How did you know this was going to fit?
Well, we kind of didn't, to be honest with you, Larry. Custom subframe. The subframe itself was done out of like scrap metal. All of this car was actually built without a lift as well. Hold on the floor. Yeah.
By choice, or?
Yeah, because we didn't have the facilities. We just don't. We're in early days, and we basically built it in a shed in 8 weeks on a tiny island called Malta.
Amazing.
And it's Matt, my mechanic Matt Sizu, who's done it. He's a genius, absolute genius.
What about the headers?
It's funny actually. If you look here, we actually had to cut out 8 centimeters to make it fit. It was sat about there.
Okay.
So we cut and split it in half and just re-welded it to make it
it works.
Yeah, it works. Oh, see, that was all custom. Yeah,
okay, all custom.
But this is going to go eventually. I'm going to go natural cross pipe, make it sound like a Ferrari.
Okay.
This was just to make it look cool, fun for SEMA, and then eventually we're going to go maybe twin turbo, all-wheel drive.
Right now it's just rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And then what transmission are you using?
We've got the 5-speed, Subaru 5-speed. Yeah.
Oh. How did you get it to work?
I need to show you the videos.
Okay. So because
these big plate. It's like that thick.
Because the 6-speed for the Ferrari is very rare, right? Most of them were like F1.
And it's money.
Yeah.
You know, a 5-speed Subaru box. All right, it's a glass box, but we get a new one.
Got it. Okay. So what? It's gonna sound crazy though.
It's at the minute. It just sounds like unsymphony, like Menace. Like it doesn't know what it wants to do yet until we fully dial it in. Just finding the information to tune.
Is this like an actual Subaru? Was it meant for a Subaru radiator?
Yeah. It's an upgraded one. Yeah, bigger one, front down.
Got it. You can put that down and
Thank
you can
you.
rest your arm.
And it shuts. It does shut.
Amazing. I love that. It's just these are stock openings.
Yeah.
And it just comes out of here.
Because we were going to make caps. If we had a bit more time, make some caps, and then obviously you don't have to worry when it's raining and stuff.
I love that you could just see a little bit of the red here.
It's awesome.
So, stepping back a little bit, what was the story with the body? Because I understand that this is so weird. Because the front is like a GC coupe.
You would, if you look from here, 22B. Without looking at the back, you think it's 22B.
Well, because the fenders are
It's the fender, it's got the longer door. So then what we've done is, and what they did years ago, was they actually put a genuine Type RB pillar in it from the 98 two-door, which back then was cost effective because they weren't crazy expensive. Whereas if you did it now...
But this was always a wagon. It started life as a wagon.
It was one of the first 150 wagon chassis built, and they all stamped. There's actually a plaque in the bay.
Got it. So then it came with the 4 doors, the short door.
5,
or 5 doors.
Yeah.
And then they got one of these doors, and then they cut it.
Well, it's the 2-door door with the B pillar, and then you just same window, and then it's wagon.
It's so odd. Does anything else like this exist? Like, have you seen another version of this?
There are. I do believe this was the first attempt.
Texans get up high quality and down low prices. Kroger, fresh.
Check this out. You talked about this idea before, but this one kind of takes it to the next level. Butler County auto shop owner accused.
Right, so I've been sat here for a while.
Owner accused of taking customers' car for repairs and then using it. And by using it, I mean allegedly lending it out to other customers who needed a car. Jessica Riley wrote this for CBS News. A Butler County auto repair shop owner has been arrested and faces charges for taking a customer's car for repairs but then using it. The shop is right off Route 228 in Cranberry Township. The owner and mechanic now faces charges after allegedly taking a customer's vehicle to fix, failing to make repairs over several months, but then lending the vehicle out to others during that time. According to the criminal complaint, the customer dropped off his 2011 Suzuki for repairs back in June. Police say that the man who owns the shop has 8 prior convictions for unauthorized use of vehicles that he claimed he's working on. And of course, that would be a problem. So the guy who dropped off the car says, I did expect him to do this as a friend of mine. That is, take care of the car. That's where the trust was, and I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt, hoping he might have changed last time, but he didn't. That's the customer who filed the complaint to the police, who wished to remain anonymous. Police say that this man and the owner of the shop exchanged almost 400 messages, with the mechanic sending photos and receipts claiming the car was being worked on. But the police don't believe that the photos or updates were actually real. And the owner of the car says, every time I kept saying, can you test my car? He said, yeah, sorry, I forgot, I'll do it today. That's the allegation of the customer. The red flag came out when the customer received an Easy Pass bill for a trip to Somerset County that he didn't make. He says, I got a bill from Easy Pass, and I called them. They looked up my plate and found a whole bunch of history on my car that I literally just bought 3 or 4 days prior to bringing it to him. And so the customer bought the car, and within a couple days brought the car in for service, and it's been in this shop's possession the whole time, or at least he thought it was. And instead his car's out running around doing errands and whatnot and racking up tolls. Traffic cameras and turnpike records show the car traveling in Butler and Allegheny counties with more than 4,700 unauthorized miles put on it. When the owner checked on the car, he says, number one, it wasn't even at the shop on occasion. And when it was returned, it had a broken windshield, dents in the body, missing items, and mechanical issues, which he says add up to more than $3,700 in damage. So the owner of the car says, knowing how the past was, what he continues to do to people, and what he did to me, it just needs to end. So the owner of the shop now faces several charges, including unauthorized use of a vehicle, deceptive business practices, and more. Now, the interesting thing I've talked about this before, a lot of things in the law have a civil side and a criminal side. There are some things for which you can be sued and prosecuted for the exact same thing. It's not double jeopardy because one's civil, one's criminal. So if I steal something from you, you can call the police and go, that man stole from me. But you can also call an attorney and go, he stole from me, I want to sue him. And the law allows that because quite often that's the only way that you can get your stuff back or get made whole. So in this case, the owner of the car called the police investigated and came to the conclusion that yes, a crime was committed. That was their conclusion because they arrested this guy and he's been charged. So that's the implication there. However, in most states, the owner of the car could also file a lawsuit. And I'm going to give you the example from Michigan. I talked about this before. In Michigan is a law, it's MCL 600-2919A, and it's called Recovery of Damages, Costs,
something for the young techs out there that are starting working on cars. You want to lift a tire, not hurt your back? Use your body as an anchor. So if you just lift it like this, you're using your back completely. But if you lean the tire on your body, you got uniform, gets dirty, you get washed every day. Anchor the wheel on your body, then lift it. That way you're actually not using your back to lift the tire. You're just kind of rolling it on your body using your body anchor. So if you just lift it like this, you're using your back completely. But if you lean the tire on your body, you got uniform, gets dirty, you get washed every day. Anchor the wheel on your body, then lift it. That way you're actually not using your back to lift the tire. You're just kind of rolling it on your